Somewhere, someone is wishing for your happiness. That was a very, very, very sad chapter of One Piece. I didn't think Pound would go down like that. That was something. I will say, Oda, good job. You did a good job at that. That was really well done build up to that scene, that final part of the chapter. And a little tidbit that I truly enjoyed, that stood out to me, especially with, Pound's, final, moment, is when he grabs his tie, and you see him, putting his tie up, fixing it and all that, and you just see him smiling. He's just smiling at his grandson, he's smiling at his daughter, he's smiling at the person that married his daughter, and this man just looking forward, and you see Oven behind him, getting ready to go in at him, and he's just smiling. He looks, he's like, I know there will be happy times and sad times. You see it go over to Pound's daughter, and you'll have sad days, and you see Lin, Big Mom's like, get out of here, I never want to see your face again, and all that. It's very depressing, but sad, and it's just the way Oda was able to have that transition between the present and past, back and forth, and all of that. It was perfect. I think Oda did a very good job with a character like Pound, and how it emphasized what he has been doing, or what he wanted to do, but he couldn't in the very end. And he's like, I'm sorry I couldn't be there for you. And I like how he talks to his grandson, like he's talking within himself. He's like, I know I can't be there for you, and I am right now sacrificing myself, basically, to make sure that you have a good future with your family, your parents, and I wasn't there for them. And I like how he, puts his heart on the table, and he's just expressing his failures, but what he wanted to do. But I like in the final moments before Oven comes in and just slashes him, he's like, congratulations on your marriage. That was good. Very good. I gotta give Oda that. He did a very good job with that, because, in all honesty, Pound was a cool and interesting character. I felt bad for him, but from what he's been going through, it just, to see how he went down like that, it was just truly impressive. It just once again shows how good of a writer Oda is, especially with how he was able to kind of emphasize certain key scenes of this chapter that just made me emotional. Now, is Pound dead? I hope so. And I do trust in Oda when it comes to his writing, because he's a very good writer. Since I have been rewatching the One Piece anime, I've gotten to first-hand witness just how good of a writer he is, just seeing all the foreshadowing and everything he has built up to certain scenes that still are, about to happen, or, have happened recently in, the One Piece manga. It's just crazy. And so I have seen recently just firsthand how good of a writer he is, and I have faith in Oda, whatever he does or how he uses Pound's character. I have faith, but personally to me, I do hope that Pound is, dead. And the reason why I say that is because I feel like it would have a lot more impact to what the message of this arc is. Because number one, when you look at this, arc, this is an arc trying to get away from Big Mom, or, attack Big Mom, just get out of there safely, whatever, and this is Yonko territory. This is not something that is easy to get away from. I mean, look at all the prior build-up to this very arc. I mean, let's think about Whitebeard, what we found out about Whitebeard, and then, Shanks, and then Kaido, and Big Mom. So when you see all this build-up, it makes a lot of sense to be able to get away from certain situations, or even Big Mom's subordinates. You need to sacrifice something. And in this case, Pound sacrificed himself just for Sanji and everyone else could get out of there just to deliver the cake. And then Pedro, he sacrificed himself as well. He blew up just to save the Straw Hats. So these little sacrifices that have happened, it adds more weight to show how scary a Yonko is. You just cannot continue to march into a Yonko territory thinking you're going to be okay and nobody's going to die. That's just not how it works. From everything we have seen, from what a Yonko is capable of to also their underlings and all that, it makes perfect sense that people are going to die. And seeing how Pound went down like that just to sacrifice himself, just to kind of deliver the cake or get one step further with the cake, that just goes to show how dangerous this arc is. So I do appreciate that, and that's why I do want, Pound to be gone, because there needs to be sacrifices like that to kind of to prove the threat of Big Mom and how scary she is, and it's just not that easy to invade her territory, go in there, and just get out. It just shouldn't be that easy. So I do like the direction Oda's going with this arc. I just hope that Pound is, dead. Now, should, Pound's daughter find out the truth, find out about him, Yes, but at the same time, it would be interesting if Oda never clarified it. If Oda never actually gave conclusion to Pound and his family, that would be fascinating because it would add a little bit of sadness to the arc, showcasing that this minor character, he is a minor character at the end of the day when you think about it. This character that many wouldn't necessarily care about or even probably feel sad after reading this chapter did so much behind the scenes that actually mattered. I mean, in the terms of the story of One Piece, Pound is not relevant, but in terms of what he has done in this arc to get the characters from, like, point A to point B, he's very important. I mean, what he did in this chapter when he striked at Oven and all that, and stopped him from melting, you know, the boat and ruining the cake and all that, that effectively saved so many people's lives. Not just the Straw Hats, not just Capone's crew, but it also saved people around Big Mom's territory, because Big Mom is going to go on a rampage until she is satisfied. So when you see these things, what Pound just did, he saved a lot of people. He sacrificed himself to save a lot of people. So he did a good deed. He did a very good deed, and it's sad that if it's never clarified, nobody will know what he did, his sacrifice. And I feel like the only person that would know about the character, Pound, and talk about him would probably be Nami and Luffy. I could definitely see that. Maybe Oda, once this arc is, you know, over and all that, you know, Nami and Luffy, they talk to, you know, Pound's daughters like, hey, you know, did you see that guy? He was, you know, your father. And I could definitely see that happen. And then she gets sad, and then, you know, Capone finds out, and then there's like some form of like memento to the man. Something like that could happen. That's the only way I could see logically for them to find out, which would be very nice if there is a conclusion to that, but at the same time it'd be even better if there was never a conclusion. It was just left as if only the readers know his story. Only the readers know what he actually went through. So anyways, moving past that though, let's talk about the funny moments. There's a quick funny moment I want to mention, which is just, it made me smile. Many out there might not care about what I'm about to mention, but it made me smile because since, like I said, I've been rewatching the One Piece anime, I couldn't help but imagine the voice acting and all that in my head when I saw Oven. He got up and all that in front of Capone's, you know, ship, and he's like, you will stop here, and then all of a sudden he gets run over by Capone, and then all of the people in the back, like the fodder and stuff, they're like, he got run over! I just couldn't help but laugh because that's stuff you would see, like, in normal One Piece fashion, and I love how Oda keeps moments that are serious like this with a tad bit of comedy as well, because it's Oda. It's Oda's style to add something like that, and I just couldn't help but laugh when, you know, Oda was trying to stop Capone, and Capone just ran over him and all that. It's funny. It was legit funny, and this man couldn't stop Capone. But anyways, let's talk about that ship, though. So that truly, whoa, Capone's ship turned into a tank. That's epic. That's epic. I mean, it makes sense with Capone's style and all that, but still, Capone turned, like, his ship turned into a tank and was rolling on land. I'm not even gonna lie, that's epic. I like Sunny and all, don't get me wrong. I love Sunny's design. I love the lasers, you know, the docking and all that. I love Sunny, okay? However, I really like Capone's ship, especially how it morphed into like a tank and all that, just riding on land, and then it went back into the water and it had paddles again pop out. That's just cool. It's just me. I love stuff like that. I've always been a big fan of like boats that could go on land and then shift back over into like, you know, back into the water again. I've always appreciated stuff like that. It reminds me of the game, you know, Supreme Commander. I don't know how many of you out there have played that game, but it's a strategy game, and it reminds me of certain units you can get that could go on land and sea, and I was like, that reminds me of that. But okay, anyways, besides all of that, we also have the grandson. So the grandson, it's obvious after looking at the chapter a couple of times that the grandson noticed Pound. The grandson is obviously aware of Pound, because when Pound was going in to stop Oven, you have the grandson's like, Dada! He literally says Dada, and it shows that he was definitely aware that Pound was a good dude. Maybe not aware of who he was in terms of being like a grandfather, but obviously aware enough that he was doing something to save them and, you know, bringing happiness. And when he died, you saw the son, or the grandson, started to cry. So that shows that Pez is definitely aware of Pound, and the only one, and it makes me wonder if the only time we're probably going to, you know, clarification of this, like, you know, if they'll ever find out about what his sacrifice was, is at the end of the series when we see maybe like a time skip or something when the series is coming to a conclusion, and we see Pez maybe just thinking about someone, and he thinks about his grandfather. Now, that would be really cool if Oda did something like that. Just imagine, like, this is the last time we really hear a Pound, and then when the series of One Piece is coming to an end, and it's going over the different arcs and everything, because you know something like that's going to happen. When the series comes to a conclusion, we're probably going to get to see every different island we've been to, all the different characters, what's been going on, and I could definitely see Pez, like, you know, thinking about, like, his adventure, what he's about to do and all that in the world, and he thinks about his grandfather. That would be cool. That would legit be cool if Oda did something like that. Hopefully I'm not the only one that would really like that if it went that direction. But yeah, anyways, at the end of the chapter, the Straw Hat crew has confronted Big Mom. Big Mom is back on the chase. Still scary. Every time I see Big Mom and how she's literally just riding the wave, well, she is on a giant sea slug, but she might as well be riding a wave. It's scary because it just once again proves how scary a Yonko is compared to a regular person, a regular pirate, even a regular pirate crew. Even Straw Hat crew is nothing in comparison to Big Mom. It's just scary to see her armada behind her, all these ships, how she's just like on this giant sea slug. She's massive. Just her aura in general is scary. I love how Oda does stuff like that, especially panels and stuff. So I will give compliments to that as well. But that's about it. The chapter overall, it felt a little bit shorter than normal, which makes a lot of sense when you think about it because there was a lot of double pages. I mean, you know, big pages, like, spread out for 2 pages, so it makes sense. So I'm not necessarily complaining, but it did feel a little bit short. So I'm going to end it there. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, how you felt about this week's chapter of One Piece. Did you enjoy it? Did you hate it? And how do you feel about Pudding and how she continuously, you know, gushes for Sanji? Be honest in the comments below. If you enjoy my content, please subscribe, and if you like this video, please leave a like, and if you don't like me, and you don't like this video, well, leave a dislike as well. So love you guys, you have a wonderful day or not, wherever you live, please be safe. Chibi out.